Welcome back to Only Talk Sports. We talk sports every single day, or at least we try to. I'm your host, Jeffrey. Subscribe to the channel if you like sports content, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another video. Now, in the SEC on Friday, there's a game with the Arkansas Razorbacks traveling on the road at the Missouri Tigers. Who do I think is going to win this game? Let's break it down. Now, Arkansas is 6-5 and 3-4 in the SEC to start this season, and Sam Pittman has done a great job as the head coach at Arkansas. But they have had a down year compared to where they were last year, but they're still having a decent season. And in Week 1, Arkansas beat Cincinnati 31-24, and that was a good win. Then they beat South Carolina 44-30, and that was a good win because South Carolina is a decent SEC program. That was a good win. Then they beat Missouri State 38-27, and Arkansas did struggle in this win, but they were able to get the win. Then they lost at Texas A&M 23-21. That was a tough loss because they had just hit a field goal. They would have been able to win that game. Then they lost to Alabama 49-26. They were not really super competitive in this game, but they did try against Alabama. Then they lost at Mississippi State 40-17. And this was a tough loss as well because Mississippi State is a good SEC program, and Arkansas just could not get the win. Then they won at BYU 52-35. This was a great win for Arkansas because going on the road at BYU is tough, and even though BYU is not having one of their better seasons, that was a great win for Arkansas still. Then they won at Auburn 41-27, and same thing, Auburn's not having one of their better seasons, but still a great win for Arkansas. Then they lost to Liberty 21-19. This was a tough loss because they probably should have beaten Liberty. Then they lost to LSU 13-10, and that was not a bad loss because they were very competitive, and KJ Jefferson did not play in this game, and they were really competitive with LSU. They just could not get the win. And then they beat Ole Miss 42-27, and KJ Jefferson returned. This was a great win for Arkansas because Ole Miss is a really good team, and they were able to get a big win in that one. And in that Ole Miss game, quarterback KJ Jefferson had 168 yards and 3 touchdowns and 47 rushing yards. He's a really talented quarterback, and he's probably going to be in the NFL. He's got a really big body. He plays like Cam Newton, and he does get hurt a lot, but he is a very talented quarterback. Running back Raheem Sanders at 232 yards and 3 touchdowns. He's really emerged for Arkansas lately. He's a fantastic running back, and he'll probably be in the NFL. Wide receiver Matt Landers, 38 yards and 2 touchdowns, solid wide receiver for Arkansas. And on the defensive side of the ball, defensive back Quincy McAdoo with 6 tackles, linebacker Chris Paul Jr. 5 tackles, and linebacker Drew Sanders with 4 tackles, and an interception for Arkansas against Ole Miss. And Arkansas's defense has really improved lately, and their offense is much better than it used to be before Sam Pittman arrived at head coach, and Arkansas is a much better team than they used to be. Now on the Missouri side, they're 5-6 and 2-5 in the SEC to start this season. Eli Drinkwitz has done a decent job at Missouri, but he is going to have to start winning more if he wants to continue to be the head coach at Missouri. But if they're able to win this game, they will definitely be able to achieve bowl eligibility. They beat Louisiana Tech in Week 1 52-24, and that was a good win. And then they lost at Kansas State 40-12. Tough loss for Missouri because Kansas State's having a really great season. Missouri was not really competitive against their rivals. Then they beat Abilene Christian 34-17. That was a good win. But then they lost a heartbreaker game at Auburn 17-14 in overtime in a game where all the running back had to do was not fumble the ball at the goal line. If he had reached across the goal line and made it, then Missouri would have won. But he did not make it, and they lost that game. Then they lost to Georgia 26-22. This was a great performance because they were really competitive against the #1 team in the country, but they just could not get the win. Then they lost at Florida 24-17, another really good result for Missouri because they almost beat Florida in the swamp. They couldn't get it done. Then they beat Vanderbilt 17-14. That was a good win because Vanderbilt's having a better season. Then they won at South Carolina 23-10, and that was a good win because South Carolina's having a really good season, and Missouri was able to get the win there. Then they lost to Kentucky 21-17. And that was a tough loss because they almost beat Kentucky. And Kentucky, even though they're struggling a little bit this season, is still a decent team. Then they lost at Tennessee 66-24. They tried to be competitive in this game, but Tennessee ran all over them. And then they beat New Mexico State 45-14. And that obviously helps Missouri because they had an easy game before having to play Arkansas, and Arkansas had to play Ole Miss. But Missouri's still having a decent season, and they've been really competitive in a lot of their games. And in the New Mexico State game, quarterback Brady Cook had 251 yards and 3 touchdowns and 71 rushing yards. He's gotten better as the season's gone along. He's a decent quarterback. He is mistake-prone, does turn it over a decent amount. But he is a solid quarterback, and I think he will definitely improve for Missouri in the future. Running back Cody Schrader at 70 yards and 2 touchdowns and 47 receiving yards. He's a solid running back for Missouri. Wide receiver Barrett Bannister, 91 yards for Missouri against New Mexico State. And on the defensive side of the ball, defensive back Drayden Norwood at 4 tackles, linebacker Chad Bailey at 3 tackles, and defensive lineman Arden Walker, 2 tackles for Missouri against New Mexico State. And Missouri's defense is solid at times. They do give up a decent amount of points in some games, but they have shown at times to be a really solid defense, and their offense has improved from where it was at the beginning of the season. So who do I think is going to win this game? This game is at Missouri, and that helps Missouri out with the home field advantage. And I think Missouri's really going to show up in this game because they want to make a bowl, and Missouri's going to really play hard. Eli Drinkwitz is going to have his team focused in this game. Again, they want to make a bowl game, and I think they're really going to play hard in this game. But Arkansas is also going to be ready for this game, even though they are already bowl eligible. Sam Pittman still is a guy that he is able to motivate his team. Arkansas is always motivated to play, and even though they have struggled this season at times, especially in games like the Liberty game, the Texas A&M game, Arkansas has more talent on the team than Missouri. Sam Pittman's really gotten a lot of talent into Arkansas. They're still a really solid team. KJ Jefferson is going to be the quarterback in this game, and as long as he is healthy and he's able to finish the game, I'm going to go with Arkansas to beat Missouri 28-24. I think Missouri can win this game. I really think the fact that they want to make a bowl game, I think they're going to fight really hard in this game. Plus, Missouri had a much easier opponent last week than Arkansas, and I think that's really going to help Missouri out as well. And I think they can win. I think they're going to get really close. But I think Arkansas just has a little bit too much talent for Missouri. I think Arkansas is going to really show up to play and want to win this game. I think Sam Pittman is going to have his team motivated. And Eli Drinkwitz is going to get really close with his team. They're going to get really close to this win. But I got Arkansas beating Missouri on the road 28-24. Subscribe to the channel if you like sports content. Like this video down below. Comment down below whether you think Arkansas or Missouri is going to win this game and why. And I will see you next time.